to the CE Pro podcast. I'm Executive Editor Arlen Schweiger. This week, CE Pro revealed results of its 2021 CE Pro 100 brand analysis that identifies the most used products by the industry's top integrators. SnapAV continues to bolster its leadership position in the industry, with its products leading an incredible 20 categories of equipment. So what are the keys to success? And more importantly, what's coming down the pike from SnapAV? 3 executives from the company spoke with CE Pro's Jason Knott to outline their upcoming initiatives in video surveillance, multi-room AV, networking, control, and remote systems management. Also, don't forget to subscribe to CE Pro's YouTube channel, as well as our podcast on Apple and Spotify.
Hi, Jason Knott with CE Pro, and I am excited today to be joined by the executive team at SnapAV to talk about some very exciting results from the CE Pro brand analysis. So if there was ever any doubt of who the #1 supplier was in the industry, I think SnapAV really just put that to rest with the results from the most recent CE Pro 100 brand analysis. The company actually won on a remarkable 20 categories in terms of having the leadership position. That's out of 68 categories that we tracked, by the way, so for the industry. So it's just a remarkable achievement. And just to kind of give you a sense of the categories that they won, I'm going to read them off. They won access control, acoustical treatments, amplifiers, cybersecurity, fiber optic cable, HDMI cables, home networks, HVAC smart energy management, IP surveillance cameras, mounts, multi-room AV distribution systems, networking data wire, outdoor video, power conditioners, remote managed services, speaker wire interconnects, structured wiring enclosures, universal remotes, and whole house integration systems. And in addition to that, its SnapAV Pro Stores was the #1 distribution outlet. So quite a dominant position in the industry. And with that level of responsibility also comes some responsibility for customer service. And I want to give a shout out to SnapAV. In our April issue, we also had our Quest for Quality Awards, which is where we recognize companies for not their products, but their services. And SnapAV won a remarkable 14 different awards there. And that was for tech support, customer service, its website, warranty support, lead generation, dealer program, shipping policies, and its COVID-19 response. And we had over 14,500 votes cast for that. So they have really established themselves as the leaders in the industry. And that's what we're here to talk about today is, how the company has really made those achievements, and then also where they're heading from here. Inquiring minds want to know, so to speak. So with me today is Kenny Kim. Kenny is VP of Product Management and Platform Services for SnapAV. Hi, Kenny.
Thanks for inviting me here. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me today. Also with me is Mike Jordan, Senior Vice President of Control and Entertainment for SnapAV. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And last but not least, GPaul Hess, Chief Product Officer at SnapAV. Hi, GPaul.
Hello, Jason. Good to see you.
It's great to be seen. So there are too many product categories for us to talk about during this podcast. So we're just going to pinpoint some of the key ones and talk about what are some of the key applications and key things that Snap is doing in that space to establish that leadership position, but also more importantly, what might be on the product roadmap for those categories. So Kenny, let me start with you. Kenny obviously is the guru for Oversee, which is Snap's remote systems management platform. Tell us, just kind of basically, why does Snap have such a key leadership position with Oversee? What's made Oversee click with integrators?
We started this journey about 7 years ago, probably a little bit longer than that. And we started based on partner feedback that they were struggling with servicing clients and how that was eating into their profit margins. And so we started Oversee really to address that pain point, and it hasn't changed since. Our mission to help our partners be successful, become efficient in their operations of serving their customers is still the same mission that we have today. And our roadmap and our investments are driven by feedback that we get directly from partners. And I think that's part of the success that we've had, is just creating a product that our partners are asking for. We also took a two-pronged approach. It wasn't only about a remote monitoring platform for SnapAV products. Several years back, we made an intentional decision that this platform is something that we want to provide for all of our integrators, whether you're doing business with us or not. We want to make this the platform that our partners could really put their operations behind and leverage that tool to become efficient. And I think that's part of the reason for its success, is that we have agnostic. We have integrations to many, many different products that we don't even sell. And some of them are competitive products, but that's okay, because we're trying to make sure that this is a platform and a standard for our partners.
So one of the things about Oversee that I think is great is it's kind of a microcosm of SnapAV in terms of its development. It has changed, and there's been multiple iterations of it throughout the years since that 7 years ago launch. Tell us a little bit about the development of the product over the years.
Yeah, we when we first launched Oversee, it was with Wattbox. That was our first product we enabled, and we got such great feedback and adoption from partners that we said, hey, we can now expand this to more SnapAV products, things that require more support after the installation, things like networking, surveillance, some of our amplifiers. And so we started expanding to all of our products. What we quickly realized was partners were also looking to not only use Oversee for SnapAV products, but they're like, hey, I have all of these other products and even DIY products that our customers bringing in onto the network that I ultimately have to support. It's interesting when partners tell us that customers don't know the difference of where the issue is. If I've touched any part of their network, I own everything. And so for us, when we recognized that, we saw that as an opportunity to, again, help our partners. And then what we launched is Oversee Pro. And Oversee Pro now extended the visibility to not only SnapAV products, but all the other IP products onto the network, gave him the ability to look at ISP health as well. And so that was really the investment we made. And then we also launched Oversee Home, which is an extension of Oversee that partners could give to their end customers, saying, hey, now we're going to empower you with some capabilities so you can, fix some issues on your own without having to wait for anybody to support them. So that was really the evolution of Oversee.
So do you have any either hard data or anecdotal data from talking to integrators about how Oversee has helped them establish profitable service departments?
Yeah, absolutely. The example I'll refer to is Parasol. So Parasol leverages Oversee as their main tool to support customers, end customers, that dealers for their dealer partners. So their service department has given me recent data to say that they've seen great success leveraging Oversee. And one of the metrics that they measure is first time call resolution. When a customer calls in with the problem, can you resolve it in the first call? And if they can't resolve it, then that's when it's handed off to the dealer and a truck roll has to be rolled out. So this is a really, really important metric. They've been able to resolve 85 to 90% of the service calls on first call resolution. And so we are really excited about that. And we're continuing to work with, feedback from partners like Parasol, OneVision, other type of partners to figure out how do we continue to improve the success rate that partners could have and minimize the truck rolls.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Tell us what might be on the product roadmap ahead for Oversee.
We're responding to definitely, there's a feedback tool within Oversee where, partners could provide recommendations on things that they're looking for, and they can also upvote ideas that have been generated by the community. And so we're responding to some of those things, or you're going to see some of the feature sets. I'm not going to talk too specifics about some of those things, but one of the big things that we're really excited about that we're actually launching this week, so by the time this podcast goes out, it's going to be available to the public, is we're starting to build finally the interconnections between our platforms. You have the Control4 platform and the ecosystem of all these devices, and you have Oversee, our remote monitoring platform. We're now starting to build linkages between the two. If you think about what we're actually releasing is we're enabling Oversee Pro. Remember, this is the ability that allows you to monitor every single device on that network, allow you to tunnel into any of those devices for configuration capabilities, allows you to monitor the ISP health. We're embedding all of these capabilities into Control4 controllers. And so with an OS update, partners could actually enable their existing locations, tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of locations out there with Oversee Pro capabilities, all with an OS update. And so that's really the beginning of some of the things that we're doing to make sure we provide value between the two platforms and interlink some of the data so that our partners can be much more efficient in their servicing and their configuration, because we think those are two sides of the same coin. Configuration and support is two sides of the same coin. So that's the direction that we're heading.
Fantastic. Thanks for that information, Kenny. All right, let's switch gears and turn to Mike Jordan. Mike, a couple of categories, but let's first focus on multi-room AV. Again, kind of the same question I had for Kenny. Tell us why you attribute SnapAV having so much success with that category.
Yeah, first credit, Jason, is to our dealer partners. That we're fortunate enough that from our services teams, our customer support, our tech support, we have a lot of people that trust us with their installs and their buying. And then the second portion of that is, again, thanking our dealer partners. Most of our recent success has been tied to some new product launches, and that there's some features on our new Dynamic series as well as our Response series amplifiers are really been inspired by dealers. We have a sub out on every zone for both of those series. Dynamic series is more kind of a simpler amp, but each one of the individual zones has a sub out, which is a problem solver. And then our Response series, which has sold really well and got a lot of positive response, is a fully IP controlled matrixed amplifier with sub outs of every zone. But really making it unique is what Kenny was mentioning before, our Oversee integration. So we've got a highly sophisticated amplifier, built-in DSP, simple setup and configuration that I can continue to monitor and adjust over time. So I would say it's a combination of getting our dealer partner feedback on what feature sets they need, and then listening to them and what requirements they need in an install, and then bringing that to market.
All right, let's kind of know that you're listening and you're getting that feedback on a constant basis. What might be on tap from the product roadmap in that category?
Yeah, this is a great one because it's interesting because our as we've merged, for us within the building, SnapAV and Control4's merger, it seems like that was a while ago for our dealer partners, but we're still converging roadmaps. So with our Response series amplifier, we didn't have digital inputs, which a lot of our Control4 partners like, hey, what were you guys thinking? Well, that product was on a roadmap for a long time, and it was in development for quite a while before the merger. So that's a way to say that, hey, we're putting these roadmaps together. So we're really blessed. We're thrilled with what we've got from our brand portfolio between Triad and Episode. And so what we're going to see putting together is that we're going to see some differentiation from product feature sets, product placement. Triad is our premium brand. Episode is going to be our everyday runner brand. And we're going to start to differentiate both from some power ratings, some DSP capabilities, some preloaded DSPs between those two products as we start to put them together for our entire dealer partner base. So we have our Control4 dealer partner base, and we also have the partners that we've got throughout that buy through our e-commerce platforms and all of our local pro store outlets. As we start to do this, we also continue to see the blurring of where these signals come from. So this is multi-room audio video. A lot of times it's just focused on the audio. We're driving towards there's the ability to take a signal that's IP based and be able to distribute that. Why does it matter if it's audio or video? Why do I have two completely different subsystems to be able to manage that? Rack space is at a premium, space behind a TV, space behind a screen or projector is at a premium. So we're driving forward with our MOIP product line for our media distribution, which is our IP-based solution. We have some audio-based IP solutions. We're going to continue to blur those lines so that we can have IP delivery of signals, whether they're audio or video, and a multi-channel amplifier and multiple different brands to be able to solve problems from our partners.
Yeah, lots going on technology-wise in that category for sure. All right, let's switch over to whole house integration. Kind of same question. You talked about the merger there, Control4 being such a key category. Tell us why you believe SnapAV and Control4 have become the go-to solution for integrators.
It's the power of, I'll give a kudos to John Heyman, the only here philosophy of the solutions that we provide. We won 20 awards from things from wire to the whole home integration. One place to buy all these solutions that just work better together, I think, is the first thing that we want to put an eye to. And then now that we're starting to get further into the merger and start blending these roadmaps, we can just make these platforms and ecosystems that much more inherently simple to install, more reliable to run on a day in and day out basis, and then have the best go-to solution if you do run into an issue. It's electronics.
All right, can you tease us a little bit about what might be on the product roadmap coming from Control4?
Absolutely. So we're investing heavily in lighting. We've got some things we're really excited about coming out in lighting, which is really going to be the tip of the iceberg. We've got some great hardware solutions and we've got some great software solutions as well. That's really kind of table stakes in the new world for lighting. So that's got some imminent releases, and we have some longer term things that are going to continue to come out. Again, listening to our partners on what they need. We also, our interaction devices, we've had great success with our Neo remote, and our SR260 has been a mainstay that's just beloved by our dealer partners. We have a new family of remotes that we're working on that's in the roadmap, but just to know that we will have a family of remotes in the future that is taking all of our partner feedback and making it happen. And then from our hardware overall, from our controllers, we're always working on new updates on our controllers, and again, taking partner feedback around what they need from the solution. So if I'm a Control4 partner, you should be very excited around things to come as we continue to merge our resources from our SnapAV teams and our Control4 teams. We're now, as we're moving forward, great things to come, lots and lots of new products coming out.
All right, we will look forward to that. All right, let me turn to GPaul and talk about two categories that, even though audio and video might be the kings in terms of usage, networking and surveillance are the fastest growing categories by far amongst integrators from all the research that we have done. So let's talk a little bit about the success that Snap has had in both those categories. First, we'll talk about networking. GPaul, kind of give us a sense of the place. You've obviously made some recent acquisitions and you have a really diverse line in the networking category. Tell us what's the keys to your success there.
First, I want to echo Mike and just say thank you to all of our partners. We're humbled and honored to have so many awards, and that's truly it's because we're listening. You know, we are listening to our partners and what they are looking for to make their lives easier, make the end customer's life better and simpler. You know, networking underpins everything in the house, and that's why many years ago we saw that as a really strategic and important category, and continues to be so today. So, you know, it's a category that we are able to combine with everything that we talked about today, and the entertainment experience, the control experience, super critical, as everybody would fully acknowledge. And what's made it successful is what Kenny spoke about. It's bringing our platform. You'll hear us, if you're inside one of our product meetings or company meetings, you'll hear us talk a lot about the platform. And the platform is a combination of all these parts and pieces together. We build good products, these platforms, and making those products connect, turn them into great products. And that's really been the success of many of our connected categories, is because Oversee has become the place you can go to manage and monitor and support those different products. You know, as far as networking goes, we've been investing heavily, as many can tell. You know, we've got an opportunity. We've got two brands, and I've got many questions about how you think about a Rackness and Pack Edge. And you know, I think that the market is starting to see some of those moves. Recently, earlier this year, we launched MS series switches, which is a layer 3 higher level switch. So we're working through product cycles. We're working to differentiate the Rackness experience and the Pack Edge experience. And of course, now the capstone is the access networks that was announced a couple of weeks ago, and our ability to not only utilize, you know, the product, but even more important to that is the service, is the design, the support, the ongoing support after the install that Access Networks brings to the table as well.
Yeah, I think the Access Networks has really differentiated themselves because they really hold the hand of the integrator who may not have that person on staff who's a network expert. So give us a sense of what might be coming down the pike with all those different brands on the networking side.
Yeah, for networking, that's probably pretty apparent. There's a gap in our category today that we recognize, and a technology gap that we're working very hard to deliver. So you'll see Wi-Fi AX, Wi-Fi 6, but again, that wouldn't be a surprise, and that is something that you'll see next year bring to the table. And as I said, we'll continue to work to integrate all these different platforms further, bringing them together so that it's not only more reliable, but just simpler to configure, simpler to support remotely.
All right, let's turn our attention to video surveillance. And this category is always interested to me with my security roots because it's such a crossover category between security integrators, custom AV residential, as well as commercial AV integrators, all doing video surveillance. So it's a pervasive category across all types of low voltage integration companies. Tell us a little bit about the success that you've had in that category and why.
Our focus in surveillance has been on pro-grade, professional-grade experiences, and we can deliver safe and secure environments to the customers. And that's been the key. As we've built the products, we want to bring to the market the highest video quality, the most reliable local storage. On-prem is super, super important for these large video streams and these multiple camera applications. And then tying that not only into a standalone end user app, but tying that into the Control4 app. So our success has been really focusing on that integration of bringing Luma even easier into the world of Control4. It's been on staying focused at the higher end where picture quality and challenging scenarios or setups is something that DIY can't provide, where reliability is of utmost importance and picture quality is of utmost importance as well. So the surveillance products, a lot of focus has gone into making those connections even better for our partners, and ultimately, of course, most importantly for the end customers in that space.
Do you see that category as one that helps introduce SnapAV, for lack of a better term, to those security integrators and those commercial AV integrators versus your solid roots on the residential side?
Yeah, there's crossover everywhere, and you'll see more of that throughout our product portfolios. I mean, stepping back to what Mike was saying, one of the areas as we think about control, for example, going more into light commercial. Well, surveillance sometimes lives in those applications. And then we have a very large group of partners that stem from the security channel that are more security based. And of course, the Luma products and all of our intrusion products overlay into that space as well. So you're really starting to see the convergence of not only technologies, but markets and ways to enter those markets through our product portfolio.
All right, give us a little tease on what might be coming down the pike from the video surveillance category.
Yeah, I think if you just flash back on all the comments, you will see even further and better integration of these products, and of course, top of mind is machine learning, AI, distinguishing objects and beings from non-threatening situations, perimeter capability where we're protecting not only the house, but we're extending that beyond the home's physical walls and the entire perimeter. So we'll be bringing all that technology together, and you'll be able to experience it even better so than today inside of a single application.
All right, Kenny Kim, Mike Jordan, GPaul Hess, thanks for joining CE Pro today. The good part is that you guys won 20 categories. The tough part is there's 68 categories, guys. There's 48 other categories sitting out there. Come on.
We'll step it up for next year.
All right, thanks again for joining CE Pro today.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.